So I'm here with Neal Callaghan, who's a student going into fourth year doing research at Mount A for the second year. Is that right, Neal?
That's correct, yes.
Cool. So do you want to tell us a bit about your projects over the past couple of years?
All right, so I work in the McCormick lab headed by Dr. Tyson McCormick, and he's interested both metabolic cardiorespiratory effects of nanoparticles on fish. Like a little bit on nanoparticles, like they're becoming increasingly prevalent in industry. Right now it's $1 trillion industry every year, and you find nanoparticles in like all kinds of electronics as well as in cosmetics. So we have actually nanoparticles in most sunscreens that you buy now. They're found in makeup, they're found in paint, and so there's really no regulation concerning how we dispose of them. So what ends up happening is they get dumped into the waterways and then they kind of fall to the bottom, and then fish like the ones we're working on, the white sucker, are really quite vulnerable to picking them up and suffering from toxicology as an effect. So over the past, we've mostly been looking at how heart rate is affected by these nanoparticles, and so now we're kind of branching more into the metabolic effects to see how those are coupled.
That sounds like a pretty big project. Are you working on specific aspects of it at different times?
Yeah, like we have students each working on either different aspects or different nanoparticles. So like my projects have been the first to deal with metabolism. His past honors students have done just basic effects of nanoparticles. They're very small and reactive, and they end up deforming membranes and proteins of cells. So there have been a lot of kind of in vitro work with that. And his most recent honors students were working on both effects on the blood and blood cells, as well as the heart rate, which we're now kind of expanding on for 3 students at least. Both myself and Pat Gormley, who are being supervised by Dr. Christiani, are working more on the chemical aspect.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. So are you a chemistry student or
I'm a biochemistry student. Patrick is a chemistry student.
All right. So it kind of spans both fields, I guess.
Yeah.
Chemistry and
absolutely.
biology. Sweet. Was this something you stumbled across on your own, or like how did you get introduced to this research project?
Last summer I was offered a scholarship to work in any biochem lab, so I just kind of asked around, and all the other biochems kind of deal with plants, and Tyson had animals, which just seemed a lot more interesting to me. So I asked him if I could work for him, and he was totally for it. So it just kind of went from there.
Cool. And then, so this is your second summer working in the same lab.
That's correct, yes.
Are you finding things are pretty much the same? Is there a big difference from year to year, or?
We've got a lot more people now in the lab, so it's a lot busier, which is good. Kind of during evenings and weekends, we just kind of blast the music, and there's a lot more company, which is really nice. A lot more going on, so
that's cool.
Yeah. And
then, so like, what are your hours like? Like, do you have to be there on evenings and weekends, or?
No, we get 35 hours a week, but the problem with science is it can't always be just an 8-hour thing. So there's a lot of staying late and then just making up the time later. If there's not much going on, you can just kind of take off for a while. So it's a flexible job, which I really like. So
yeah, good job for the summer.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then I hear you've also had some success with poster projects or something?
Oh, we went to the Canadian Society of Zoologists conference just this past month, middle of May, and I was able to present my findings from the year, or present them anyway. So cool. It was a pretty fun experience overall. I learned a lot.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, sounds like a good time. So is this project kind of directly related to your schoolwork during the fall and winter semesters, or?
I actually I was able to do an independent study this past semester, which was the work I ended up presenting. So between my honors project, which covers 2 credits, as well as this independent study, it's over half a semester's worth of work overall.
Wow.
So it's definitely a big part of my schoolwork.
Cool.
Yeah.
And is it something you see yourself kind of working with in the future again, or?
I don't want to say never. I'm hoping to kind of go more professional than academic in the future, but it's certainly something I enjoy doing now, so I don't want to rule anything out.
Yeah, fair enough. Keep an open mind. That's what's the future, I guess. Cool. Well, thanks so much, Neal. Anything else you want to add about the project or your time here?
I don't really think so. I think we've covered it.
Cool. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks very much.
No problem.